Then the other question was, okay, who employs cheap labor? But everyone will employ cheap labor. Is it cheap labor or is it an opportunity? What am I saying? You know, everyone hires cheap labor. Everybody. I don't think it's actually cheap labor. It's just, say I gave this example. You're getting paid 5,000 rand. You got 3 kids, you know, and you need a maid to still go to work. Do you call that cheap labor, or is that labor that's affordable? So you're gonna need to find someone to the best ability of that skill who can take that money. So I don't believe that there's this thing called hiring of cheap labor. But what can happen is a mass movement of people with no skills in any province, in any country, that creates problems for the low-skilled people in that province, in that country, to get the low jobs, right? Or the low-paying jobs. So, migration is good when it's benefiting the country on a major scale. So, cheap labor, it's not actually cheap labor. It's affordable based on classes. So if I'm getting paid 100,000 rand a month, for example, I can afford a maid that costs 10,000 rand a month, you know? If I'm getting paid 50,000 rand a month, I can afford a maid that I can pay perhaps maybe 5,000 rand a month. If I'm getting paid 5,000 rand a month, you do the math. So is it cheap labor or is it just affordable labor? And I also gave an example, say in Zimbabwe, if everyone is demanding a good salary and a good job, you know, who's gonna take care of the low paid, and what are they gonna pay them? You know, so is that cheap labor or is that affordable labor? You know, and African people, we are behind in developing our own situations, our own institutions that actually benefit our own people. So meaning in Kadoma, there should be now something that benefits people there. Like you find that in Stellenbosch, there's institutions that benefits people here. In Johannesburg, in Kenya, Nairobi, you know, in Tanzania, you know, Africa, we should develop our minds, not like, oh shit, it looks good there, or they say it's nice there, let me go there. That's what everyone does. Nowadays, when I go places, I don't tell nobody where I'm going, because everybody copies. If I say I'm enjoying my life in Kenya, tomorrow everyone is in Kenya. Jeez, man, why don't you go the other way? So creating job opportunities or African development don't mean we have to copy one another here. We have to know who's best at what do they do, and then we move each other towards that. So black people, we are not very inspired. We want to be rich, yes, but that's not an inspiration. I asked somebody, okay, so you want R1 million, right? How do you get to R1 million? Just because you want it, don't mean you're gonna get it. So you need to actually have a recipe, a mathematical equation. So if you are to go and ask for the bank for the loan, they're gonna ask you how you wanna pay this back. You know, they need a formula. So that formula is like you calculating that and that and that, and there has to be results of actually you making some of that money. You see. So at the end of the day, we are not very inspired to create the logistics, the ethical plans, the systems to ensure that we don't even have to worry about being rich. Passive income is created, then we can focus on creating further developments for the people. People spend so much time, they waste so much time thinking about getting rich, but no one is spending time thinking about how do we educate the mind? How do I free my mind? What is it that I want? What do I want it for? Who am I fighting for, with? You know. Black people don't pay, spend, or create their own. We don't want to pay our own people. Black people want to be paid by black people. They don't want to pay black people. And they wonder what is wrong. You know, we don't spend on blackness. We expect someone else to spend on us. Oh, isn't that an entitlement? Why are we so entitled? So you see, young Watson, if I don't teach you, if I did not listen to the question that you asked in its sincerity and just say, young kid is wilding, or if I just gave you a simple one statement answer, you are not going to understand. There's dynamics, young Watson. There's dynamics, young Watson. So we black people don't want to support our own. It doesn't mean that you have to hate everything that's not black. We are all one people. But while we being one people, there's different type of, places we were born, countries, different tribes, you know, different racial backgrounds that has to come together. So when they come together, you will find that in Europe, they've got systems that helps them. As I say, Stellenbosch, Cape Town, Johannesburg, and you name it. So in Zimbabwe, they need to have systems, or in Africa, we need to have systems that benefits the people that you are crying with for. Because we can't say, black people don't have money. We can't say black people are so, in slavery, that they are not allowed to do nothing or create nothing. We know that's not true. No, that's not true. So when are we going to direct our focus to help our own people so that together with everyone we can be on an equal platform and we can move together strong, be resourceful, helpful, educate one another in a beautiful way. So, just to summarize this, borders, they were here before me. Hiring of cheap labor, everyone will do it. But there's dynamics to not encourage the masses to move with no skills anyway. Because you can create 10. 10 people you create will create another 50 people. 50 people you create, you get the numbers. So when we're moving people, let's move skills. Young Watson, I would rather you go and listen to this, over and over and over, so that you actually get a clear picture of what I was saying there. And the drug subject, I want to touch it on its own. That's the one that you asked me last. You said, who is guilty, the manufacturer or the consumer? So do we beat the addict, or do we destroy the manufacturer of the drugs? So that I'll take a little tea break, then I will articulate that, because I already wrote something regarding that, which I'll articulate for young Watson in Mhlanga regarding the drug and how I view it, how I see things in that regard. Thank you. I appreciate y'all very much, Africa, the world. We're beautiful together. Let's keep working, man.